The lights inside the America's Got Talent theater glow softly as the audience settles into their seats. People chatting, cameras adjusting, judges flipping through notes, unaware that in just a few minutes, they will witness a moment that will quietly slip into their hearts and stay there for a long time. From backstage, a man waits patiently, his uniform neatly pressed, his hands slightly trembling, not from fear of the stage, but from the weight of a lifetime carried silently on his shoulders. He is a janitor, a cleaner by profession, someone the world often walks past without a second glance. Yet tonight his story is about to be heard. Not through words, but through a song that carries the soul of an entire nation. He takes a slow breath as his name is called, stepping forward with humble steps, his shoes echoing lightly against the stage floor. The judges smile politely. The audience claps casually, not expecting anything extraordinary, because he does not look like a superstar. He does not dress like a celebrity. He does not carry himself with practiced confidence. He stands there simply honestly, introducing himself in a calm voice, sharing that he works as a janitor, cleaning offices' hallways, restrooms often late into the night, often invisible to the very people whose spaces he keeps spotless. There is no drama in his tone, no attempt to impress, just quiet truth. Simon Cowell leans forward, slightly curious but reserved, as he has seen thousands of auditions, many stories, many dreams, some real, some exaggerated. When the man is asked why he chose to audition, he pauses for a moment, then speaks about his love for singing, about how music kept him company during long shifts, about how songs reminded him of home, of family, of the Philippines, a place he left behind to earn an honest living. His words are simple, but they carry depth, the kind that only comes from lived experience. When asked what he will sing, the theater seems to hold its breath as he answers Lupang Hinirang, the Philippine national anthem. A slight ripple of surprise moves through the audience, because national anthems are not easy. They demand respect, control, emotion, and courage. Some people shift in their seats, unsure how this will unfold, while others lean in, sensing something meaningful is about to happen. The music begins softly, and for a split second, the stage feels smaller, quieter, more intimate. As he sings the first line, his voice emerges steady, warm, and sincere. Not flashy, not overly dramatic, but deeply grounded. There is a purity to his tone, a raw honesty that cannot be trained or manufactured. Each word flows with care, as if he is not performing for judges or cameras, but singing directly to his homeland, to memories of childhood, to mornings filled with sunlight and laughter, to parents who made sacrifices so he could stand where he is today. The audience grows silent, not out of obligation, but out of respect, because something genuine is unfolding before them. His voice carries the weight of longing, of pride, of distance, of love stretched across oceans. He does not close his eyes. He keeps them open, focused, as if anchoring himself to the moment, reminding himself that this is real, that he is here, that his voice matters. With every passing note, the emotion deepens, his chest rising and falling, his hands gently clenched, not in tension, but in devotion. This is not just a song, it is a declaration of identity, a reminder of who he is beneath the uniform, beneath the mop and broom, beneath the quiet nights of cleaning empty buildings. The melody fills the theater, wrapping around every listener, crossing language barriers, crossing cultures, reaching places words often cannot. Simon Cowell's expression begins to change, his usual guarded demeanor softening as he listens closely. He has heard countless singers, but there is something different here. Something unpolished yet profoundly moving. His eyes glisten slightly and he blinks, trying to maintain composure, not wanting to be seen as emotional too quickly. yet unable to deny what he feels. Music, when honest, has a way of bypassing logic and going straight to the heart. The anthem builds gently, not with overpowering volume, but with growing intensity, like a wave rising steadily rather than crashing suddenly. The janitor's voice remains controlled, respectful, filled with reverence. Each lyric seems to carry a personal story. Years of homesickness, of resilience, of hope carried quietly through daily routines. For many in the audience, this is the first time they truly understand what it means to leave one's homeland behind, not because of desire, but because of necessity. Some audience members wipe their eyes. Others sit completely still, afraid to disturb the fragile beauty of the moment. The judges glance at each other, sharing silent acknowledgement that something special is happening. This is not about vocal runs or technical perfection. This is about truth, about humanity, about the power of music to tell stories that words alone cannot. As the song reaches its emotional peak, his voice grows stronger, not louder, but fuller, enriched by conviction. You can hear the pride in every syllable, the unwavering love for his country, the dignity of a man who knows who he is and where he comes from. There is no showmanship, no attempt to impress. Only sincerity, and that sincerity becomes the most powerful element of all. When the final note lingers in the air, there is a brief moment of complete silence, a pause so profound it feels sacred. Then the theater erupts into applause, not the polite kind, but the kind that comes from deep appreciation, from shared emotion, from recognition of something real. People stand clapping with intensity, some cheering, others simply smiling through tears. The janitor bows his head, slightly overwhelmed, humbled, as if he did not expect this reaction, as if he only came to sing his heart out and return quietly to his life. He looks at the judge's eyes shining, not with pride, but with gratitude. Simon Cowell clears his throat, trying to speak but pausing, visibly emotional, his voice catching slightly as he begins to talk. He admits that moments like these are why the show exists, not for fame or spectacle, but for stories that remind us of our shared humanity. He speaks about how the performance was not just heard, but felt, how it transcended the competition, how it connected everyone in the room to something bigger than themselves. His usual sharp critique is replaced by genuine admiration, and it is clear he is fighting back tears. The other judges echo similar sentiments, praising the honesty, the courage, the respect shown through the performance. They talk about how talent is not defined by background or profession, how greatness can come from the most unexpected places. The janitor listens quietly, nodding, hands clasped, absorbing every word, perhaps still trying to understand how his simple song created such a powerful impact. As he leaves the stage, the applause continues, following him backstage, lingering in the air like an echo of shared emotion. For him, this moment is not about winning or losing. It is about being seen, being heard, being valued not for his job title, but for his heart. It is a reminder that dignity exists in every form of honest work, and that dreams do not expire simply because life takes a different path. Backstage, he sits alone for a moment, breathing deeply, replaying the experience in his mind, thinking of his family back home, imagining their reactions, hoping they feel proud. He knows that regardless of what happens next, this moment belongs to him forever, a chapter in his life story that he will carry with quiet pride. For viewers around the world, this performance becomes more than a viral clip. It becomes a symbol, a reminder of the millions of people who leave their homes to support loved ones, who work hard behind the scenes, whose voices often go unheard. It reminds us that everyone has a story. Everyone has a song, and sometimes all it takes is one moment of courage to let it be heard. In the days that follow, the video spreads rapidly, shared across social media, watched by people from different cultures, different backgrounds, all united by emotion. Comments pour in messages of support, gratitude, admiration, many from fellow Filipinos who see their own struggles reflected in his journey, others from viewers who simply felt something real and powerful. Simon Cowell later reflects on the audition, mentioning how it stayed with him, how it reminded him why he fell in love with music in the first place. Not because of fame or success, but because of its ability to tell stories, to heal, to connect. The janitor returns to his work. But something has changed. Not externally, but within. A quiet confidence, a renewed sense of self-worth. Every time he cleans a hallway or empties a trash bin, he carries the memory of that stage, that applause, that moment when his voice mattered to the world. He sings softly to himself during late shifts, not for an audience, but for the joy of it, for the connection it brings to his homeland, to his identity, to his dreams. This story reminds us that greatness is not always loud, not always polished, not always obvious. Sometimes it wears a uniform. Sometimes it works in silence. Sometimes it waits patiently for the right moment to speak. And when it does, it can move hearts, change perspectives, and remind us of the beauty of humility and the power of authenticity. In a world obsessed with status and recognition, this moment stands as a quiet rebellion, a testament to the idea that every person matters. Every voice deserves to be heard, and every dream, no matter how small it may seem, carries the potential to touch the world. The janitor's song becomes a bridge between cultures, between hearts, between lives lived differently but connected by emotion. Long after the applause fades, long after the lights dim, the memory remains a gentle reminder that sometimes the most powerful performances are not about perfection, but about truth, about courage, about standing on a stage and singing not to impress, but to honor where you come from. And in doing so, reminding everyone watching that humanity in its simplest form is the most beautiful performance of all.